What's up, YouTube fam? It's TraderNeil here. I appreciate you all for being here. Going to be looking over Bitcoin today in our stream, and then we'll have a little bit of fun with altcoins afterwards. If you guys like the content, as always, if you could hit that like button, the subscribe button, and that bell icon so you don't miss any of my videos, I would appreciate it. Other than that, let's jump in. First and foremost, if you guys are following me on my Twitter, I went ahead and posted this. Basically, I am long Sol here, so that's why we're starting with it. I posted it just so you guys, I'm looking at it right now so you guys can potentially get in still if you didn't see that on my Twitter. Basically, here on Sol, you've got this golden pocket fib pull from low to high. You've got on this little range, this is your point of control as well. And so this is nothing but a scalp long that I'm looking at. And honestly, guys, like if you are taking any trades right now, most of them should really be scalps. You know, you could, and we can look at this on BTC. Of course, you can go with the trend on Bitcoin and, you know, look to potentially short 4-hour lower highs and that sort of thing. But other than that, this is really just like a time to, in my opinion, take some scalps if you're interested, and then look to find key levels for coins and either DCA or wait for potential swing longs. Nothing more than that, really. Just like I talked about, if you guys watched my YouTube video from the other day, we are still hanging at the support on the daily. You know, with yesterday's candle close and the day before's, nothing looked bad in my opinion, as long as you're closing above really like 60K on the daily. Technically, you are above support. However, as you all know, I mean, this market structure is still intact, and it's not bullish. You still have lower highs the entire way down. You have lower lows, and until you can essentially, at this point, close back above 64K in the weekly here, you're still going to continue to have lower highs. And so if then we can get back above this level, then I think BTC starts to push again to the upside. But until that happens, I think it's better to still be cautious and not fight the trend here with a lot of swing longs. And on the bearish side of things, if we close really back below 60K on the daily, that's, to me, that's quite worrying. Because then I think what's more likely to happen is you come down, get a bounce, you probably get a bounce off this daily initially, take the liquidity at this SFP, and either you bounce from there or you continue down to 52K and probably make a new range for a little bit, and then maybe we reclaim at the end of the summer or something like that. But that's the thing, guys. It's like once you lose your top side of a range like this, that's when things start to look bearish, and that's when the chop really commences, because losing one range brings you into a next, right? And so something like coming down to these 52 to 5600 lows, hitting them, getting a bounce, and then making your way and filling this area with some volume, that would not surprise me as a scenario to happen over this summer. And right now, that's, I mean, it's kind of looking more likely than not at this point, guys. I mean, things are still, BTC is failing with each try to reclaim a higher high or a higher low. I mean, the weakness here on this 4-hour candle, I mean, completely bullish, bearishly engulfed. And all the price action from yesterday just basically wiped out. You do have a bearish order block now formed right at this daily level, daily open, I mean. Get rid of these squiggles. Let me see. I think I might have saw a daily level. Yeah, it's just daily open. So at this point, guys, like if we come up to daily open, then I think it would be worth a short. Personally, I think that would not be a bad opportunity. Something like that. And I would just TP at like 1 RR and then let it ride, possibly. I do think like with how weak BTC is, if you really do get these levels, then I would not be surprised if you get another rejection there. All right. So I'll post this in chat and then we can look for other opportunities. I aggressively dude, they're loud, man. They can be for sure. Okay. And so again, guys, like I'll give you some levels that I'm interested in, some scalps on BTC, but at this point the only swing that I'd be looking for is down at this 52k zone. So got a daily level there, 58,200. Then let's get to the lower time frames here. So this is a zone of support, pretty obviously on BTC. I would say that positioning here, again, just scalps. Look to take quick profits off these levels. And then here, I think you could potentially take a swing here just because, you know, here's my thing. I consider this to be a poor low because when you made it, the liquidity here, all the longers at this level, like they all have their stops break even or right below it, and all the liquidity is just waiting to be taken. So in my opinion, you are gonna get a nice reaction, very likely to me at least, off of this wick. And so this is like my higher conviction long, if you want to call it that, and that's where I'd be looking to get in primarily. This daily is definitely a scalp. Like that's like the only confluence besides it being the top of this, you could call it order block or SR, whatever you want to say. But if you do come to take these lows, this would be a pretty interesting area. So yeah, basically got 3 opportunities here. We'll see what hits. Anything in between, I'm not really interested in. 4 hour, yeah, 4 hours not telling me a whole lot. And pull up these spaceman levels that I use sometimes, guys. I'm not going to change the colors or anything right now, but you do have your previous quarter mid-level here, previous week low, current year mid-level here, so you also have other confluences there. All right, not bad. So again, like what I'll do is I'll just, I don't know, I'll put an arrow on this play here just so you guys know that that's the one I'm most interested in on these scalps. That's just the excuse me. That's the guy who made the script. That's about it. But they're really helpful, guys. Like, as you can see, one level that I was looking at, well, maybe you can't see because the way that that these are drawn right now, it's difficult with these colorings. Let me try to fix that real quick. And it doesn't have my Monday range here. 1 second. Shorthand. I'll just leave that one. Okay. So basically we had a fake out of this reclaim of the Monday low. You initially held it, and it was mostly, basically you could call it like a failed auction, where you bounce off the level and then lose it. And honestly, the difficulty here is that a lot of times on these failed auction levels, you do have some sort of like a retest if you lose them. Like, for example, even on this 5-minute candle, a lot of times you do see something like this where you come up and hit it before a drop down, but unfortunately you did not see that. Even on like the 1-minute chart, you didn't even come up to retest it here. So taking that short at that level exactly would have been difficult. Let's see if you had an SFP of your first high here. Yeah, you did. So yeah, the trade to be had here was essentially just an SFP of your initial high. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for BTC right now. For ETH, let me go ahead and let me delete this harmonic just because I think that was from last week and just a little too busy on the chart. Here, DCA hit at range lows here, but honestly, other than it just being a support and resistance level, ETH is not looking great. Besides our current long that I have going, guys, only thing that I really would like to take is a scalp at previous month low, where you see this wick too, or something like that. And then the higher time frame trade we talked about, believe it was last week, this one is still in play, this daily in the 786 level. But yeah, that's all I'm really seeing on ETH right now. This one is similar to BTC, guys. We are, yeah, you could make an argument you got some sort of a wedge here, but you're still downtrending. Of course, man. I appreciate you guys. Nice. ETH has a bunch of sharks around that level. Yeah, so besides what I'm seeing on here on ETH, we can take a look at ETH BTC, because I don't think I mean, a lot of people look at this chart, but I don't think we've looked at it together before during the stream. Of course, guys, this illustrious ugly chart is still doing the same thing as always, with making lower highs and lower lows. And now you are definitely below these lows from June of 2022. Let's get on the weekly, see what I got here. I mean, you filled this weekly imbalance here, this top one, and your next one doesn't come until 433 Satoshis over there. That is basically your next level on ETH BTC. I mean, this chart looks terrible. Not gonna lie, like it's even at this point, like there has been no reaction. These drives of weekly bullish div, like one here and a second here, neither have played out to almost anything. And yeah, higher time frames, like yes, you are still uptrending. Maybe you need to come all the way to, let me get my drawing tool. Maybe in the end we'll need to come all the way and hit a higher level like this, a higher time frame level, before we really get a bounce, like, and something like that. That might be the longer term scenario. This, I wouldn't even put a time frame on it, honestly. Let me get rid of the levels there so you can see things a little clearer. Yeah, it might just be something like this over time, because right now at this point I really don't think these June 22 lows look like they want to hold. This is telling me lower. Yeah, I'm gonna play full setup on that ETH long. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like for the summer, if ETH BTC doesn't do well, then I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that alts won't do well. Of course, like when ETH BTC is bullish, alts do better when ETH goes up, especially because a lot of alts are on, the ERC chain. Of course, all the ETH betas, and then tons of your coins that most of you guys are holding, tons of altcoins. Like a lot of them are ERC20 tokens. Like even if you wouldn't have expected it, just go to the withdrawal on your exchange for any of those coins and see if it pops up with like an ERC20 or something like that. Like a lot of them are. And so if ETH Bitcoin does well, it usually does mean a lot of the alt market will follow it. But another chart to look at would be something like Total 3. So again, Total 3, this one is the market cap of all altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And Total 3, essentially, it is still above these lows from March of 2022, which is good. However, problems arise when we start losing these levels again. And as you guys can see, once you lost these levels in May of 2022, it was a quick move down all the way to really like 400 billion on this chart. So if you're bullish on altcoins, which I know most of us want to be, you want to see this level hold. This is on the 3-day. You get on the weekly. Yeah, so on the weekly, best case scenario for, in my opinion, this bull market to continue past the end of the year, either you continue to bounce off of this 617 billion level, or come all the way down to this demand zone, bounce off that in the yearly open, and then continue this uptrend. What you don't want to do, for like especially what you don't want to see happen, is it breaking on the weekly back into this bottom side range. Like if you see Total 3 coming down to this range at the bottom again, then I mean by that time most alts will have for sure nuked 50+% more than where they already are now. So yeah, guys, I would just be very cognizant of this level, though, this 617 billion level, because even a move down from there to your next area of support is 18% down on Total 3, which is a lot. So definitely be aware. All right, guys. So, oh, dang, got 123 people in here. You guys popped in during the stream while I was doing it. We were at like 30 when I started. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, so went over BTC, went over ETH, went over ETH dominance total. Let's just look at, let's take a look at Sol. Okay. So Sol is one of the coins that, in my opinion, it more so mirrors Total 3. Like, this is one of the bigger ones in it, of course. Similarly to Total 3, Sol is above May of 2022 price action. Like, it's all the way right here. And it is above an important weekly level here. Issues arise on Sol once 136 is lost on the weekly. It's nice that you didn't even have a weekly close below it, which is bullish. You start closing below that, then that's when you have to start being more cautious here and then looking for these lower prices. So daily here, let's see, you can just overall, one thing that has happened on Sol is, of course, we got the rejection at 159 bucks, which is now clearly your new range highs, in my opinion, is this 159 level. And so just trying to think of where we could be looking for next. Okay, guys, so this is kind of what I'm thinking on Sol. Since 136 is an important level on higher time frames, I think it's one that if we come down, because we have this 12-hour OB here, it's worth a scalp, because I think we'll have some orders at that level. And I would take something like this there. And then if that doesn't hold, well, that's when you'd have to start looking for trades at the bottom of range again. Daily, you've got a daily level there. Yeah, you have a lot of confluence at that level. So you got a daily, you've got the top of your 12-hour OB and monthly open there. So that's where I would be taking another trade. And then lastly, no, actually that's it, because this is the crypto chart for Sol, like TradingView's chart. However, my thing is like this. On the Coinbase chart, this wick already came and took the liquidity at these lows. So honestly, I wouldn't really be looking for much of a reaction at them again. This is all I'm seeing. And then, of course, that's when you start looking for, you've got tons of levels in this range down here on Sol, like tons of them. And so you've got dailies and weeklies. I posted one of the charts that have all those dailies and weeklies on my Twitter. I think it was last week on Tuesday. So if you guys check that out, you'll see all the levels I got for this zone, which comes into play again if you lose these 122 lows, basically this previous range high. That's when you start breaking into this level of support over here, which could happen for sure, especially if BTC goes to 52k. You bet your ass you're gonna get these levels. Like, I can't see a scenario where Sol stays above 122 if BTC goes to 52K. It's just how it is. One thing though, let me post this in chat real quick and then we can look at the Sol BTC chart. Yeah, I forgot to put the total 3 chart on here. My bad. And then Sol BTC. This chart does look very nice, not gonna lie. Similar to Sol price action, Sol BTC is above in the March 22 lows there. Yeah, this is definitely one of the stronger BTC pairings that are out there. Struggling to get back above this yearly open, but if it does, probably make your way back all the way up to top of range here, which right now actually looks like it's probably gonna do. Looks good. Let's see, and you're above the 50 level on the RSI here. Retested it, so I could see that happening. Definitely one of the stronger altcoin charts out there. Another very strong altcoin chart is Pepe. Like, very strong. So for me, I think Pepe is a very interesting one that, in my opinion, if we can see Pepe get back above local highs here at 8.8, then this one for sure, in my opinion, continues on. I don't think you deviate. I think you continue higher. In terms of what I would do now, I long some Pepe on that dump earlier, but I think ideally, you've got a clean range high right here where you have some confluence at that level. So either you hit this level for a potential retest and then reclaim these highs, or you wait for lower. But Pepe is one of the stronger coins in this market. I know Mr. Just E knows the strengths of Pepe. Yeah. And then if you lose 811, then personally, we'd have to pull up the daily at that point. We already hit monthly open in this daily level, which was a nice long opportunity. But other than that, yeah. Get on the 12-hour here. Other than that, you could take something like this if you get it.